Hey everybody, it's Omar again. Today is Saturday, and I think today, if I'm not mistaken, is the 27th of October. Okay, and I'm just posting an update about my gastric sleeve surgery, which I had on Monday. And I was discharged out of the hospital on Wednesday. And for you guys who doesn't know, I had my surgery about 80 miles away from where I live, and I drove myself back home after discharge. Well, I was feeling great. I had no problem whatsoever. And I went home. I was home around Wednesday, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was excited. Finally, I'm done with my surgery after all the process, whatever. And I was really feeling great. So I took a shower. I prepared my clear liquid meal. And I prepared my clear liquid meal. Then I had my meal and I went to sleep. I had been sleeping on hospital bed for 3 days. I had a lot of body ache, and also I'm using a CPAP machine. So I had my CPAP and I slept on my bed. I went to sleep around 4:15 in the afternoon, and I woke up at 8 o'clock fully rested. I felt like I've been sleeping for a very long time. I really had some good, well-needed sleep. Anyway, long story short, I got up from bed and I stood on my foot, and all of a sudden I hit the floor. Yes, I swear to God, I felt I was on a roller coaster, and I was trembling and cold sweat and hard time breathing, and I honestly felt like I was dying. And my wife, was in the living room outside, and she didn't hear me because we have a toddler. We have a 19-month-old daughter, and she's very loud with all her toys, whatever. She didn't hear me. So I start banging my foot on the wall so she can hear me. I'm completely, conscious on the floor, but I am kind of dizzy, having a hard time breathing. I can't even scream. Anyway, so my wife came, and my wife is a kind of worry freak. If she have toothache, she will imagine that she's dying. Alright, so imagine when she sees me on the floor, I can't move, I can't get up, and I can barely talk whatsoever. And the problem is my wife doesn't speak English. So she ran to the phone, she called 911, and she started, trying to describe to the, sorry about that. So I was burping, okay, nothing else, in case if somebody got some naughty thoughts. So anyway, she gave me the phone. I spoke to the 911 operator. They tried to stay with me on the line, whatever, and apparently some of our neighbors heard my wife crying and the baby crying or whatever, so they called 911 themselves. So within a few minutes, I had the cops knocking down on my door. And then, they walk in and, they saw the situation, and a few minutes later, the ambulance came, and I had 4 EMT guys working on me, and I start feeling better, I asked them for oxygen, whatever, so they gave me oxygen, and I was still on the floor, okay, lying down on the floor. They didn't move me. So they tried to get me to. I was already getting better, I was start feeling normal whatsoever. So they tried to get me to sit up to sit. And instead of lying down, just sit. So I was just sitting 90 degree, and once I sat there, the whole thing started happening again. Like back to square one. I was very cold. I really, really have hard time inhaling any air. I was like, I need air, and they give me oxygen. And at one point, actually, I heard one of the ambulance guys saying, "Oh, he's out." I was fully conscious. I was fully aware what they are saying, but I can't talk. And I was breathing like baby breath, like I wasn't able to take any air, like somebody sitting on my chest, or my chest is tightening, or like I'm drowning underwater, or whatever. So anyway, they got scared I was gonna die. So 4 guys actually had some sort of drapes, or whatever you call it. It's more like a bed sheet, a rugged bed sheet, and they put you in it, and they carry you, one in each corner and stuff. And I really felt bad for them, carrying a guy. I live in a building, I live on a 2nd floor, walk up, so it wasn't really an easy thing for them to carry me 2 floors down. I was 330 pounds, So anyway, they rushed me to my local hospital, which is Jersey City Medical Center. And I was there, and my blood pressure was dropping like crazy. Okay, normally, guys, I'm an individual who have hypertension. So my average blood pressure is 160 over 100. Yes, 160 over 100 with 2 medication. Okay, so when I was in the emergency room, my blood pressure was 40 over 20. Okay, I was almost dying. They didn't know what was wrong whatsoever. But anyway, so I went to the hospital. They tried to stabilize me as fast as they can. And they did, but they didn't know what was wrong with me. So I heard one of the doctors saying, "Oh, you probably had dumping syndrome," which was really ironic or even stupid to hear that coming from a doctor. Dumping syndrome will never, ever, ever cause anything near that. Dumping syndrome, the worst you can have is a stomach ache. You won't be dizzy, you won't be having short of breath, whatever, okay? And you won't be having cold sweat, okay? So, anyway, they rushed me to, the CAT scan. They made an X-ray, CAT scan on my head. They made an X-ray on my chest. They made a CAT scan on my stomach, on my abdomen, because they saw the incision of the surgery. And sure enough, they found that I had internal bleeding. So, guys, I was the kind of people who was always turned away from donating blood because my hemoglobin level was too high. My average was 18 or 19, and blood banks will not accept any blood over 18. Okay, so anyway, so they did blood work for me, and the minute I went to the hospital, the emergency room, my hemoglobin count was 11. Okay, which is not a very ideal percentage, but it's not really very bad. It's not very bad, no. A lot of people around us are living with 11, and they're okay. They are kind of on the anemic side, but they're okay. It's not alarming. But anyway, within 2 hours, I went from 11. Within 2 hours period, my hemoglobin count went from 11 to 9. Okay, and the 3rd hour, it went down from 9 to 8. Okay, and I was under a lot of restriction. You can't move, you can't even try to sit in bed, you can do nothing whatsoever. And they asked for my doctor, my surgeon, contact info, and they contacted him. Okay, he's having internal bleeding. what you want us to do whatsoever, so they decided to give me blood transfusion. That was the first time ever getting any blood. And guys, this is one of the times you come to a point in your life to realize you really, really, really need to give blood sometimes. I promise I will be a regular donor. Somebody, by donating blood, saved my life. Anyway, I got 3 bags of blood, okay? 3 bags, which is equal to the third of the human blood volume in your body. Alright, so anyway, all of the while I was thinking that, my surgeon has botched my surgery and he did something he wasn't supposed to whatsoever. But at this time of situation, you only think about your loved ones. What's gonna happen if you go? And it wasn't something easy. It was not. And I had to make some sort of last minute arrangement just in case, if I don't make it through whatsoever. And I thought I was a lot better off without the surgery whatsoever. Maybe I was obese or whatever, but I was, healthier and, anyway, so long story short, they arranged for transportation after they gave me blood, because they said the blood with the bleeding still active would only last for about 3 hours, and the trip by ambulance is about 2 hours. So they transported me back here from Jersey City Medical Center. Right now I'm in Kennedy Hospital in Stratford, New Jersey. And when I came in straight into the ICU. And they really did take a very good care of me here. Okay, they worked me out the minute I came in. They checked on me every hour, blood collection every 3 hours, and it turns out the whole ordeal I had was because of the Lovenox, the blood thinner. As you go through an abdominal surgery, you have a higher risk of deep vein clot. Deep veins mainly are in the lower part of your body, okay, from your stomach and below. So, Lovenox is just like any other medication. Not everybody respond to it the same way. Some people, they tolerate it. Some people, like me, I can't. All right, so basically, I stayed in the hospital Monday, Tuesday, and I left Wednesday morning. So I don't know how much Lovenox or how much blood thinners they gave me, but I assume, because I was prescribed to give myself 1 injection every day. So with my own calculation, and I'm not a doctor or anything, I assumed I took at least 3 injections. So probably I left the hospital with bleeding, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And you can actually see my arm here. You see all the failed attempt to find my veins to give me IVs and stuff. I have this big problem. And guys, God, I hope you will never experience this. But because I have this problem with my veins, they asked me if I can authorize them to insert a central line for IV, where they can collect blood samples and give you IV at the same time, or multiple, medication at the same time, whatever. And again, I'm not a doctor, so I said, okay, you need to do whatever you need to do to help me. So they explained to me that the central line has to be inserted in your neck. And man, that was crazy. Here it is. This is my central line. It's going into my neck. Okay, and guys, this hurts like hell. This hurts a lot more than the surgery. It hurts more than anything I have ever experienced in my whole freaking life. Alright, God, I see my beard actually is growing. I look like a homeless. But anyway, living a homeless better than, dying handsome. So anyway, so now since I'm not taking any Lovenox or anything or any blood thinner, they had to look for another alternative to secure me or neutralize my risk of having a clot. So because when you have an abdominal surgery, you stay in bed for some time, and that increases your chance of developing clots. And bigger clots forms in your lower parts of the body, and they can travel to the heart, cause a heart attack if they stay in the heart, which can be a cardiac arrest, or travel to your brain, which can cause a stroke. And you don't want to run into any of those, So they explained to me there is this procedure, they call it God, what is the name of it? I don't know, but it's some filters they put on some veins on my in my system, which basically it's a main artery called inferior something. I can't remember the exact name, guy. But anyway, they explained to me that it's a filter they install on the bloodstream, which looks like a turned upside down umbrella, and it captures any kind of clots formed on the lower part of the body. And with that filter installed on my bloodstream, it will neutralize and save me from any possibility of forming clots. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm not a doctor. You know better. I will just okay it. Give me the form. I'll sign it. If you think this is gonna save my life, go ahead. Come on. A few hours ago, I was almost dying. So you gotta have to authorize them to do whatever it takes to save you. Unless you have a good insurance policy, which I don't. All right. So I need to live to raise my daughter. All right. She's only 19 months. So they did actually insert the filter on my vein. Okay. It's one of the main arteries, which brings blood into the heart. So after the whole process took about an hour with full anesthesia. You have to sleep. And they do it from, even if the filter is somewhere here around your stomach area, but it's deep inside you. It's not really surface artery or anything. So they do it from down below by your thighs, and your sorry guys, after gastric sleep you're gonna burp a lot. Okay, you're gonna have gases. So anyway, so they do it from your groin, through a catheter and stuff. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at all. Believe me, my worst experience was the central line in my neck. Okay, so anyway, I'm getting a lot better, and I don't really regret having the weight loss surgery. Okay, it's a step back. It's a setback, and everybody is, exposed to setbacks. And different people react differently to the same medication. So I don't expect my result to be typical to anybody, and I hope that none of you guys will experience the same thing I experienced. Okay, I blame the doctors and the hospital here for not having blood work on me before I left the hospital, because if they had a simple blood test, that would have revealed that I'm losing hemoglobin or whatever, or a simple CAT scan, which I don't expect anybody to run CAT scan on anybody who leaves the hospital or whatever, because CAT scan costs a lot more than just a simple blood work. So anyway, I'm happy, I'm satisfied, and I was finally told I will be going home tomorrow, which is Sunday, and they will do their best to discharge me before the storm Sandy comes in, to give me enough time to be home before the storm hit. Alright, so that's it about me, and whoever is out there, guys, doing the surgery, I will say, go right ahead. Don't let anything scares you, and we all have our all different reasons to do this, but it doesn't matter what your reason is. At the end, you're going to end up having a healthier life. You won't be taking all the medication you're taking right now. You won't be having to worry about high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or morbid obesity, or whatsoever. Alright, so wish me guys good luck, and I will keep you updated. Okay, bye.